We are on learning target 11, which is solving proportions. So first of all, let's find out what a proportion is. In order to do that, we need to know what a ratio is. A ratio is just a comparison of two numbers. One of the ways that it can be represented is as a fraction, and that's the way that we'll be focusing on. A proportion is two ratios that are equal to each other. For example, 2/3 equals 6/9. If you think about multiplying numerator and denominator by 3, 2 times 3 gives us the 6, 3 times 3 gives us 9. So one form of a proportion are equivalent fractions, not necessarily in simplest form. Alright, so this is day 1 of learning target 11. We're going to take a look at how to solve some simple proportions as well as some that are a little bit more complicated. Now when we take a look at our first proportion, we've got 7/8 equals m/12. Now using the golden rule, we're going to cancel the denominator. What does this bar mean? It means division. How do we cancel division? We multiply. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 12. Why? To cancel the 12 in the denominator, leaving me with m. On the left-hand side, I'm going to simplify before I multiply. Because I don't want to do 12 times 7, I may not have that memorized, but I do know that 4 goes into 12 and 8. So I'm going to divide 12 by 4, I'm going to divide 8 by 4, and 3 times 7 is a little bit easier, smaller numbers. I get 21/2. Now the second step is to solve the resulting equation. What's nice about this is that I'm done solving the equation once I get rid of that denominator under my m. We'll look at one more basic one, and then we'll look at some that are a little more complicated. So again, use the golden rule to cancel the denominator. Well, in this case, my x has a denominator of 7. How do I cancel division? I'm going to multiply. Why did I multiply by 7? To cancel my 7 in the denominator, leaving me with x. Over on the right-hand side, this time I don't have any common factors with my numerators or my denominator. 4 times 7 gives me 28. 5 stays in my denominator. And again, the resulting equation is already solved for. I've got x alone. Now we're going to take a look at some where there's binomials. So, this time I have a variable on both sides. How do I solve? Well, I'm still going to use the golden rule to cancel the denominator. But now I'm going to have to do step 1 twice in order to cancel my 2 denominators since I've got variables on both sides. So I'm going to cancel the simpler denominator first, and that's the one that's under my binomial. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 6. Why am I multiplying by 6? To cancel my division by 6. So on the right-hand side, I have 2n plus 4. On the left-hand side, I have nothing to cancel with that 6, so I get 6 times n over 5. I'm going to repeat step 1 because I still have a denominator. So I'm going to multiply both sides by 5. Now I need to multiply the entire right-hand side by 5, and I'm going to have to use distributive property. On the left-hand side, my 5's cancel, leaving me with 6n. On the right-hand side, I get 10n plus 20. Step 2, solve the resulting equation. So this time I've got a variable on both sides of the equal sign. And because I don't have any other terms with my 6n, I'm actually going to subtract 10n from both sides. Normally I would subtract the variable with a smaller coefficient, but I don't want to get 0 on one side of the equal sign. So on the right-hand side, my 10n's cancel, leaving me with 20. Now on the left-hand side, 6n minus 10n is negative 4n. How do I cancel multiplying by negative 4? Divide both sides by negative 4. Cancels on the left-hand side. 20 divided by negative 4 is negative 5. And let's take a look at one more of those in case that didn't make sense. Maybe seeing it one more time will be helpful. Step 1, cancel the denominator using the golden rule. This time it doesn't matter which denominator I cancel first, they're both under a binomial. Just make sure when you cancel that denominator that you multiply the entire side by the denominator. So I'm going to go ahead and cancel my 5 first. I'm going to multiply everything on the right-hand side by 5. Now remember, I'm not multiplying by 5 over 5, I'm multiplying by 5 over 1, so my denominator doesn't change. On the left-hand side, I've got v minus 8. On the right-hand side, when I distribute my 5, I get 5v plus 15 over 4. I'm going to repeat because I've still got a denominator, so multiplying both sides by my denominator. Both sides, the entire left-hand side of the equation needs to be multiplied by 4, following the golden rule. Whatever you do to one side, on my right-hand side, it cancels. Do to the other side. On the left-hand side, I distribute 4v minus 32 equals 5v plus 15, and solve the resulting equation. So to get my variables together, this time I've got 2 terms on each side, so I'm going to subtract my variable with a smaller coefficient, which is 4. Coefficient, remember, is a number that you multiply by a variable. On the left-hand side, they cancel. Don't lose that negative in front of your 32. If you have 5 v's and you take away 4 v's, you have 1 v left, or just v. V plus 15, to cancel that adding, I'm going to subtract 15 from both sides. On the right-hand side, it cancels. Now remember, on the left-hand side, what is our subtracting rule? I hope you just shouted, add the opposite. So we've got negative 32 plus negative 15. So we're going to add those numbers together. We're basically getting ourselves deeper into debt, and we get negative 47. Here are your U-try problems.